a busy London office filled with glass walls and fluorescent lights, there worked a young man named James. He was 30 years old, successful by most measures, good job, nice apartment, stable relationship, but inside, he was drowning. James had been diagnosed with anxiety disorder 5 years ago. His doctor prescribed medication. The pills helped, but they also made him feel numb. He couldn't feel joy either. Everything was muted, like watching life through a foggy window. He wasn't truly living, he was just existing. He had tried different medications. They all had the same effect: relief from the panic, but also relief from feeling alive. So he decided to stop taking them, cold turkey. The anxiety came roaring back, worse than before. For months, James suffered. His heart would race for no reason. He would feel dizzy in meetings. He couldn't eat. He couldn't sleep. His girlfriend, Emma, tried to help, but she didn't understand. Nobody understood. "Just take your medication," his doctor said. "Just think positive," his friends suggested. "Just relax," his mother recommended. But James couldn't just do any of those things. The anxiety had a grip on him that felt unbreakable. One day, desperate and exhausted, James took a week off work. He didn't have a plan. He just needed to escape. He drove north, away from the city, away from the office, away from the noise. He ended up in the Scottish Highlands, in a small cottage he rented for the week. The first few days were still terrible. The anxiety followed him. It didn't matter that he was surrounded by mountains and fresh air. His mind was still a prison. But on the fourth day, something shifted. He met an old woman named Margaret at a small cafe in the village. She was sitting alone, reading a book. James sat at the next table. They started talking. Margaret asked him what brought him to the Highlands. James, feeling broken and without reason to hide, told her everything. About the anxiety, about the medication, about feeling trapped in his own mind. Margaret listened carefully. Then she said something that surprised him. "I had anxiety too, for 20 years. "How did you get over it?" James asked, a spark of hope in his chest. "I didn't," Margaret said. "I learned to live with it. Better than that, I learned to befriend it." They talked for hours. Margaret shared her story. She had been a nurse for 30 years, always helping others, always responsible for people's lives. The anxiety came from the weight of that responsibility. She took medication for years. Then one day, she realized the medication wasn't fixing anything. It was just hiding the problem. "So what did you do?" James asked. "I stopped running from it," Margaret said. "I started running towards understanding it." Margaret invited James to her home. It was a small cottage in the hills, simple and peaceful. Over the next few days, Margaret taught him something that would change his life. "Anxiety is not your enemy," she said one morning as they sat by her kitchen window overlooking the hills. "That's where everyone gets it wrong. Your doctor doesn't say this, your therapist doesn't say this, but it's the most important thing you need to know." "Then what is it?" James asked. "Anxiety is your system trying to protect you. It's your nervous system saying, 'There might be danger, get ready.' It's not wrong, it's just overactive. It's trying to protect you from a threat that doesn't actually exist." She continued, "The problem isn't the anxiety itself. The problem is that you're fighting it. You're trying to suppress it, medicate it away, think your way out of it. But the more you fight, the stronger it gets." Margaret made tea and sat back down. "I learned something from a therapist eventually. She taught me about acceptance. Not acceptance as in, I accept that I have anxiety and I'll suffer forever, but acceptance as in, this feeling is here right now. It's uncomfortable, but it's not dangerous. I can have anxiety and still be okay." James didn't understand. How could he just accept the panic, accept the racing heart, accept the dizziness? Margaret saw his confusion. "Come with me," she said. "I'll show you." They went for a walk in the hills. It was a cool afternoon. The sky was gray, wind was blowing. Margaret walked slowly and peacefully, pointing out things around them: birds, plants, the shape of the clouds. Then she stopped and said, "Feel your chest. Where is your anxiety right now?" James focused inward. "My chest is tight. My heart is racing a bit."
"Good," Margaret said. "Now, instead of fighting it, I want you to do something different. I want you to observe it, like you're a scientist studying it. Notice where it is. Notice how it feels. Don't judge it. Don't try to change it. Just notice it."
James did. He noticed his heart beating faster. He noticed the tightness in his chest. He noticed a slight dizziness, and he waited for it to go away. But Margaret said, "Don't wait for it to go away. That's still resistance. Just notice that it's here, and then notice something else. Notice your feet on the ground. Notice the wind on your face. Notice me standing next to you. Notice that you're still okay. You're still breathing. You're still alive. The anxiety is here, yes, but so is your life." Something in James shifted. For the first time, he wasn't trying to make the anxiety go away. He was just living with it, existing alongside it. They walked for another hour. The anxiety didn't disappear, but James stopped being so focused on it. He started noticing the beauty around him, the way the light hit the mountains, the smell of the earth, the sound of his own breathing. By the end of the walk, the anxiety had diminished, not because James had fought it away, but because he had stopped making it the center of his universe. "This is the beginning," Margaret said. "This is what no medication can teach you. Medication might make the symptoms go away, but it doesn't teach you how to live with your own mind. I took pills for 20 years and never learned that. When I finally got off them, I was still lost until I learned this. The goal is not to never feel anxious. The goal is to not be controlled by anxiety." Over the next few days, Margaret taught James a practice. Every morning, she would sit quietly and do something she called the opposite of avoidance. What we usually do with anxiety is avoid it. We avoid situations that trigger it. We avoid feelings. We avoid breathing in a way that might make our heart race. We become smaller and smaller, avoiding more and more. "So what's the opposite?" James asked. "The opposite is turning toward it, not aggressively, gently, like you're greeting an old friend who scares you a bit." She taught James to sit quietly, to notice where anxiety appeared in his body, to breathe into it, not to make it go away, but to be present with it. Your body is trying to protect you. When you run from that message, you're saying, "I don't trust you, I'm afraid of you." But when you turn toward it and say, "I see you, I know you're trying to help, but there's no actual danger right now. We're safe," your system starts to believe you. It took time, but slowly James's relationship with his anxiety changed. It didn't disappear, but it stopped being catastrophic. It became something he could live with, something he could even understand and work with. On his last day in the Highlands, James asked Margaret, "Will I ever not have anxiety?" Margaret smiled. "Probably not. Anxiety is part of being human, but you won't have a life controlled by anxiety. That's the real freedom, not the absence of anxiety, the absence of fear of anxiety." James returned to London. He didn't get back on medication, but he did something different. He started practicing what Margaret had taught him. He sat quietly. He observed his thoughts without fighting them. He turned toward his anxiety instead of running from it. He joined a mindfulness class. He read about neuroscience and how the nervous system works. He learned about the difference between real danger and perceived danger. He learned that his body would calm down if he stopped sending it the signal that there was danger. Months passed. The anxiety didn't disappear, but it became manageable, more than manageable. It became something he understood, and when you understand something, it loses its power. He shared what he had learned with Emma. She noticed the change. He was more present, more himself, more alive than he had been on medication. A year later, James returned looking out at the hills. "I'm not sure I ever fully understood what you taught me," James said. "Can you explain it one more time?" Margaret smiled. "Anxiety is like an alarm clock. Your alarm is very sensitive. It goes off when there's no fire, when there's just a little smoke, when there's someone cooking. You can't turn off the alarm, but you can learn that it's not actually telling you there's danger. You can walk toward the alarm, look around, see that there's no fire, and then go back to your life. The alarm is still going off, but you're not controlled by it anymore." James nodded. This time he understood completely. "The medication tried to turn off the alarm, but that left you numb. The real solution is not turning off the alarm, it's learning what the alarm actually means and learning that you can be okay even when it's going off." James left the Highlands knowing something fundamental had changed. He wasn't cured, there was no cure needed. He had learned to live freely even with anxiety present. When he got back to London, he didn't go back on medication. He didn't need it. He had something better. He had understanding. He had acceptance. He had the knowledge that anxiety wasn't his enemy. It was his system's misguided attempt to protect him. And with that knowledge, he was finally free. The real lesson. Anxiety doesn't need to be fixed with medication. It needs to be understood. When you understand that anxiety is not danger, but a signal of perceived danger, everything changes. You stop running, you stop fighting, you stop trying to make it go away. Instead, you turn toward it, you observe it, you acknowledge it, you live with it. And in that shift from resistance to acceptance, from fighting to understanding, you find the freedom that no medication could give you. Freedom is not the absence of anxiety. Freedom is not being controlled by it, and that freedom is always available to you. Not in a pill, but in understanding, in acceptance, in learning to live with your own mind. This is what Margaret taught James, and this is what you can teach yourself.